Credit apps accepted. Choose from Chevys, GMCs, Rams, Fords, imports, and more. Over 350 of them. You could buy with no down and no payments for 90 days. See us at Danny Manuel Rapid Chevrolet or DannyManuelRapidChevrolet.com.
Hi, I'm Bill at Wire for USA. If you're looking for internet, TV, security systems, or cell booster systems, why would you look at a company that only gives you one choice for each of these systems? Wire for USA offers it all. Viasat, Hughes, CenturyLink, Dish TV, DirecTV, Wilson cell booster systems, and now Starlink and Equistar internet systems. Starlink and Equistar are the newest, the fastest, and the strongest satellite internet made. No limit, no contract. Wire for USA has it. Call 605-341-5361. Whatever your home or business needs are, call Wire for USA for the products and the service. You don't need training wheels with our system. Connect to the future with Wire for USA at 605-341-5361. We are hometown, we are South Dakota, and we do appreciate your business. 605-341-5361. See us at our new location, 710 North La Crosse Street in Rapid City.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
The Indianapolis Colts have named Daniel Jones as the team's starting quarterback, winning the job over Anthony Richardson. Head coach Shane Steichen with the announcement today.
We got a good group around him. Overall, our football team, offensively, the weapons we have, that I feel that he can be successful in it.
Decision still yet to come in New Orleans. Saints head coach Kellen Moore says he'll decide after the preseason game against the Broncos on Saturday to name their starting quarterback. Giants activated left tackle Andrew Thomas from the PUP list, while Buccaneers wide receiver Jalen McMillan could miss half the season, according to the Tampa Bay Times, because of a neck injury suffered against the Steelers. Notre Dame has tabbed redshirt freshman C.J. Carr as the team's starting quarterback for their opener against the Miami Hurricanes on Sunday, August 31st, while BYU is going with a true freshman. Bear Bachmeier is going to get the start in the opener against Portland State. Cubs beat the Brewers today 6-4 in game one of a doubleheader. Indiana Fever forward Sophie Cunningham done for the season with a knee injury. I'm Dan Byer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. Good Tuesday afternoon. Let's get ready to go tonight. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is back. We are live on Fox Sports Radio. Welcome in. Thanks for making this show possible. Hope you're having a great day. Let's get rolling tonight. It's always a great day in South Dakota, even when it's a little toasty. Some kids starting school today, more on their way to school as the week gets going. It's that time of year. Hope you're doing all right, everybody. Here we are. The Nate Brown Show is live, not only on Fox Sports Radio. You can bring us up online on X at Nate Brown Show. So watch the show and bring us up every day there on X at Nate Brown Show. You can follow the program. Also, YouTube, The Nate Brown Show, the YouTube channel. We've got it. You've got it on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe, and we're good to go. Looks like a great guest lineup tonight. Really, really good. We're going to talk to a big-time Division I athletic director. We got him today. Not too many shows get to talk to an AD extended period of time. We've had this guy on over the years. I really appreciate him. He's done a nice job, long relationship there, and we're going to talk to him. So we're going to talk to Mountain West, Wyoming Cowboys athletic director Tom Burman. I'm going to talk to Tom about the Mountain West and the future of the Mountain West. What's the future of FBS football and teams like Wyoming? And what's the future of college sports? How much revenue share is Wyoming going to pay out to their athletes? I just saw reports on this. So it's always interesting when you think mid-level D1 FBS, and where does this land in the next 5 years for South Dakota State, USD, North Dakota State? Is Wyoming going to be playing in that same division? I got a lot to discuss. We've got him tonight. So we'll get started tonight with Tom Burman, Wyoming Athletic Director, on live tonight as they get set for a big season. Second-year head coach Jay Sawville. He's coming up. We'll go to Denver. NFL insider and Broncos insider Benjamin Allbright's in tonight. We don't get Benjamin that much, so we got him from 850 KOA live from Denver. High school football, our previews continue. We talked to Brandon Valley head coach Matt Christensen last night. We'll go to Sioux Falls Lincoln, Jared Fredenburg tonight. Lincoln, back-to-back state champions. Can they do it again? I picked them number one. I mean, you got to respect them. We'll talk to their head coach, Jared Fredenburg. He's coming up talking Pats football. Brian Noe is in tonight from Las Vegas, Fox Sports Radio national host. Brian Noe on tap. We'll try and get Noe every Tuesday. Can we do that? The Noe show every Tuesday? Let's see if we can do that throughout the football season. So a good Tuesday show lined up from high school to college to the pros. The Nate Brown Show is on. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Bring us up and text us if you want, 605-720-1067. That's the text line for you. And the Pizza Ranch studio hotline is open, 605-720-1067. So mark that number down if you want to be a part of the conversation, which I invite you into, talking South Dakota sports and more. Your hot takes on this hot Tuesday, always welcome, 605-720-1067. There's your Pizza Ranch studio hotline. Powered by the Pizza Ranch, great partner of ours. What a place. East 10th Street in Sioux Falls. You can drop by the buffet. Also in Brandon and 2 locations in Rapid City. It's the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. All right. Well, I'll just get this out of the way. And then we'll get into the South Dakota sports topic I want to discuss tonight. I have to get this out of the way from a national standpoint, because these are the 2 biggest headlines of the day. and why aren't we laughing? Well, I mean, I'm laughing. Why aren't you laughing? Here's the 2 biggest headlines of the day. The Browns have named Joe Flacco the starting quarterback this week. So that's a big one. This week, Joe Flacco, he just turned 40 years old. And Joe Flacco, who I remember as a hat rack, He was like a hat rack for my Denver Broncos a long time ago. I'm sorry, Joe. I know he's an FCS guy, a Delaware guy. Great stuff. Joe Flacco is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. What a headline to start your week with. And then today, the Colts are going to bring back Danny Dimes. You Minnesota Vikings fans, do you remember? Daniel Jones was on the Vikings, right? He was almost a distant memory. Daniel Jones was on the Vikings, and then he got a deal to go to the Colts, and now he's the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm sitting here looking at these multi-billion-dollar corporations, which are NFL teams, and I'm trying to figure out how you end up with Joe Flacco at 40, the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, and you're supposed to think it's a great business move. It's just so good. That's going to really get everybody juiced. I mean, they're going to be ready to roll in Cleveland. The Browns have Joe Flacco. Can we say it again? I mean, how can we do this, guys? And then Daniel Jones. You know what Daniel Jones' record is since he won that playoff game against the Vikings? I hate to break it to you again. When he was the last time he was kind of good with the Giants, I guess. You know what his record is as a starter? 3-13. I mean, how do we end up in these places, these multi-billion-dollar corporations, and all of the big-time money and all of the scouting and everything that goes into it? And we end up starting the season in places like Indianapolis with Daniel Jones coming back from the dead. He's starting over Anthony Richardson, who you just picked. You picked him as the number 4 pick. What did all the work and all the effort? Hey, Anthony Richardson's our guy. We just picked him last year. He is our guy, and he's out. And then Joe Flacco with Cleveland just comes back somehow, some way. And you're trying to tell me that you're not just going to try a new quarterback, a fresh look quarterback? You're not going to try that? What do you have to lose if you're the Browns? Like, what do you have to lose if you're the Cleveland Browns? You tell me. Like, nothing. So you stink. Let's say Shedeur Sanders is terrible. You stink. You get a really good player. So you want to throw out 40-year-old Joe Flacco for what? No excitement, no nothing. You know where you're going to end up, which is nowhere. And we're throwing this out. It's just an amazing thing in the business model that these guys are trying to tell us, no, this is the right call. All you other guys are stupid. You guys are dumb. This is the right call. That's what they're trying to tell us with Joe Flacco and, who was it? Daniel Jones. Good luck to the Colts and Browns. A great season ahead. Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Yep. Sanders.
What about him?
You really think he should be starting when he had a mysterious injury against the Eagles before the game?
Let me tell you what he should be. Maybe not yet, but they better be starting him here about 6 weeks in. They better be.
Or, Nate, we could just say, Arch Manning's coming out next year.
Yeah,
we're going to get the first draft pick.
All the more reason. Start Shedeur. If he's so bad, then you're going to get the first pick.
You're
Go
on
with
that
him.
Shedeur thing, okay? That's like Rusty Wilson. All right? Come on. You know, he played at Colorado. He played in He played in that powerhouse conference. What was that? The Big 12?
He did bring Colorado back. I will tell you that. He did bring him back.
Lincoln, I heard Sioux Falls Lincoln tried to get a few of them teams on their schedule, and
there you go.
Big 12 says no.
There you go.
We're not there yet.
Okay, so I just want you to know, Joe Flacco's your guy, and Daniel Jones is your guy. It's going to be fun. Don't bet on him, okay?
How many games has Joe Flacco won as a quarterback?
I don't know.
Ever since his Super Bowl, a year or so ago.
Ever since his Super Bowl, I don't know. I remember him in Denver. He was an afterthought. That was a long time ago. But he's back. This should be interesting. I appreciate you.
Well, you know, with Patrick Mahomes, there shouldn't really be any other news but another Super Bowl.
Okay, here now you got it. Now you got it. I'll get you back on. I appreciate it. Thanks for getting in.
You.
Yeah. Now he's up to game speed. We'll bring Mahomes and the Chiefs and the stuff back in the Nate Brown Show. Just hang on here. Hang on. Okay, that's my final statement on the NFL news of the week. We'll talk more about this. I mean, I'm just telling you from a common sense standpoint, you know what they're going to do. The Browns are going to stink. The Colts are going to stink. And they're trying to tell you, yep, this is the right call. They wasted Richardson, the number 4 pick last year. And they're already giving up on it. I don't know how this works. They try and sell you this. Oh, this is the right call. Daniel Jones is 3-13 since his last playoff victory over the Vikings. As a starter here, 3-13. And I'm serious about Joe Flacco. He got benched in Denver. That was a long time ago when he was like 34. He's 40, and he's back with the Browns, and we're supposed to be wondering, Shedeur can't play. No, don't even try it. Don't even try it. What do you have to lose? Doesn't make sense to me. You help me out. I'm good. Speaking of this, it's perfect. And my high school football topic I want to discuss tonight, here in South Dakota. Speaking of doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep on trying to say this, and I'm going to keep on trying to put this out there in South Dakota high school football. We have an antiquated system for which teams play against each other in the different classifications. We have 2 big things wrong with South Dakota high school football. 2 big things wrong. Too many classes. We all know it. Everybody wants to argue about it all the time. It's a gift that keeps on giving. But we know it, that there's too many high school football classes in this state, and you know it. I mean, it's an easy thing to know. 7 classes. And we created the 11-man class, and the ESD schools were struggling, and they created that class. And the 9-man schools don't want to get rid of a class because they still want to make a run. There's not a difference between 9A and 9B. Like, there's hardly any difference. So that's a huge problem. Too many classes and so many teams. There's such a gap there. And then you got this problem. They don't put them in the right classes because we only do it on enrollment. And so this antiquated system, we only look at enrollment in your school. Everybody's starting school this week. So if you have some males in your school, what we're telling you is you're going to be a good football team. If you have a pretty good number of males in your school, you're going to be a good football team. That's what the system is telling you. And I'm trying to make this point over the last year or so. You have programs that are struggling, football programs. They have plenty of males at their school. They're not playing football because the team's lost for the last 15 years. So they can't get numbers. They can't build a culture. There's teams that are really, really struggling, and we don't have the right system in South Dakota. As other states have noticed, they've changed their system. So you put in a success factor, and you use data of wins and losses, playoff appearances, non-playoff appearances. What have you done over the last 4 years? So you look at real data, and you say, this team hasn't won a playoff game in 15 years. They haven't been to the playoffs in 10 years. Well, don't you think they should get a shot to play down a level to see if they can compete, build up their program, build up some numbers, get people excited? Isn't that what high school sports is about? I mean, it really should be about some participation, some good experiences, some competitiveness. The players want to compete. The fans want competitive games, yet we sit here and we still hold to this. The only factor we factor in is enrollment in a school, male enrollment. If you have males in your school, you're going to be this class, end of story. There's no nuance. There's no data. It's just a male enrollment number as they sign up for school this week. Here's the male enrollment number. This is where you're going to be. And then we do it on a 2-year cycle, and nothing changes. You might have a team move up or down on the bubble because they have a smaller class here or there, but nothing changes. There's teams that are really struggling in the class they're playing in, high school football, really struggling, and they don't even have a shot. And so I want to be out there today. I'm just going to make this point today. You have a team like the Douglas Patriots. I've seen the Douglas Patriots over the years. They had a proud tradition back in the day. They had a long-time coach. They had a proud tradition. And then Coach Magic, who's now over there in Pierre, Coach Magic went out there and he got it back. He got the tradition back a little bit. And ever since Coach Magic left, it's been lights out. And Douglas, I'm going to tell you right now, you just put yourself in Douglas Patriots' shoes. This might be hard to do from East River schools and wherever, because hey, it's not our fault that Douglas can't win. Sorry. Here's Douglas. They're playing an 11 AA football. 11 AA. So they're with the pretty big programs. Pierre, T area, Brookings. I mean, there was some teams there. And Watertown. Pretty big program. Douglas has won one game in the last 5 years. We looked that up before we started the show today. I said, I just want to make sure on this. Douglas has won one game in the last 5 years. So all I'm telling you is the male enrollment piece doesn't work. It's about success. Are you having it? Are you not? Can we add a layer of data to help rule the classifications a little bit more accurately, so then we can have high school football classes that are more competitive, programs that are really almost not sustainable. I had a coach tell me that. He texted me that. I had a coach. This is a high school football coach. He texted me. He said, I feel bad for Douglas. He says, I don't know if it's even sustainable. He told me that. I don't know if that program's even sustainable. Douglas is a pretty big school. The football program is on life support, and they're staring down the season again. I mean, it's going to be another struggle. I mean, it's over before it begins. And then Everybody that sits back and wins games, everybody else wins games, and nobody cares. Pierre's going to win again. Hey, who cares? There's real programs out here that can benefit from a little bit of a tweak and change in the high school football classification system. There's states that do this. North Dakota added it last year, 2 years ago. They added a success factor, seeing who's really struggling. Can they move down? Can they compete? That just would help the experience, the competitiveness, the numbers, and a football program that may not be sustainable to maybe get a little bit on track. They're not going to win. They're not going to set the world on fire. Maybe get on track. So let me ask you this question of the day tonight. Let's see. A question of the day. Which option would you support then for this? Because to me, there's really only two options. You change the system. You add this layer of data based on wins over like a 4-year cycle. Wins, losses, playoff appearances, the whole thing. And you have a specific set of data and rules there. Here's the formula. Here's the teams that fit this that are really struggling over the last 4 years. We're going to classify them down. Would you support that tweak to the just solely enrollment system? Or do you think it's up to Douglas to just ask the board of directors, hey, can we move down? This is my question of the day. I have a solid answer on this. I mean, I think you know which way I'd lean. I give you this data, this extra set of, hey, just another way to do this on top of the enrollment. You don't get rid of enrollment. You use enrollment as a baseline and then you use the success factor. So, or do you just think it's up to the teams? There's only like 4 of them. So Douglas and whoever else, just ask the board if you can move down. You think that's an option? Those are the only 2 options I see right now to get football classifications on target a little bit more for programs to have some success. What would you support? That's my question of the day tonight as we get going. The data, changing the system with a success factor, a real formula, or just have the schools asked to move down? Because you can do that right now. That is legal. You can ask the board of directors in Pierre, you say, hey, we're struggling. Can we move down? So you can do that. You just want to go that route? Guess what? Nobody does it. Nobody wants to do it. Little secret. Coming right back, Benjamin Allbright, Broncos insider, NFL insider, as we get going tonight. Hang on.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Hunting season's just around the corner. Time to gear up with the best names in the business at prices that will not be beat. Like a Wildview 16-megapixel trail cam for just $34.99. The Big Game 16-foot Warrior Pro tree stand is on sale for $149.99. And take aim and comfort with a Hawk Big Denali luxury blind chair for just $134.99. Stop in for these hunting specials and more at your local Fleet Farm. And check out all our weekly deals at fleetfarm.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
At Ace, your backyard is right in our backyard. So when you need to feed your grass, remove the weeds, or wrangle those leaves, go to the best place that delivers on top brands like Ego, Toro, and Steel. No warehouse store can match the convenience of your locally owned neighborhood Ace. So stop on by. You can also order online for curbside pickup or get what you need delivered. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their lawn care. At participating stores.
The place that sells the best new cars and trucks is the place you'll find the best used cars and trucks. That place is Danny Meno Toyota. Shop better quality import and domestic models. Buy with no down and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, buy Toyota certified pre-owned with financing as low as 5.49% APR for up to 60 months. See us at Danny Meno Toyota or DannyMenoToyota.com. 1910 for 1,000 finance regardless of down. Offers with qualified credit. Expires 9/2/25.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 68 tonight under mainly clear skies, southerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, high of 96. Mainly clear tomorrow night, 71. Mainly sunny Thursday with daytime highs approaching 88. 78 chance for storms Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 90 degrees.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields. We're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Hey golfers, have you experienced Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club? Golf Digest ranked Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club the #1 public course in South Dakota. Off Exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers a golfing experience second to none. Play their 18-hole championship layout with your buddies. Stop into Miller Creek Pub for some drinks, or bring the family out for lunch and try out the new putting green right below Miller Creek Pub. Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club has it all. Book your next tee time at elkhornridgeresort.com.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started, or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, we are back on a Tuesday. Glad you're here. Just getting going tonight. Good interview coming up with Wyoming Athletic Director Tom Burman. We don't get him very often. We've had him over the years. It's been great. I appreciate his time. You don't get a D1 AD that often, so we'll talk Wyoming, the landscape of college sports, the Mountain West moving forward in FBS football. How much revenue share the Pokes handed out this year? So there's interesting stuff. Tom Burman's coming up live from Laramie, Wyoming. Wyoming Cowboys AD. First, let's go to Benjamin Allbright, Broncos insider. 850 KOA, Broncos country tonight. Find him on X at Allbright NFL. A great follow. Benjamin, how are you?
Doing pretty well. It's not every day I get to be the warm-up act for the AD over there at Wyoming.
How about that?
I feel honored.
I like that. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I want to hit Broncos a lot, but I want to get your read on some NFL stuff first. You threw this out there a while ago, like in July. Daniel Jones is going to be the guy in Indianapolis, and he is today. Why'd you say that?
I had a conversation with Colts head coach Shane Steichen, back in, what was it, February, I guess. And they're really valuing consistency at the position. And while Anthony Richardson has, out-of-this-world tools, it's that lack of consistency and that has continued to exhibit himself. And Daniel Jones, for better or for worse, he sort of is what he is, and you know what you're getting. And coaches value that. They value sort of knowing what you're getting over the potential big play ability, because, it keeps offenses on schedule. And so they're going to keep Anthony around. They're going to keep, working with him and try to get him to what they thought he could be when they drafted him. But that's going to be tough without all the reps. But, Daniel Jones was kind of their guy. They made it a point this offseason to go out and get him, and they feel like he can help take this team to the playoffs.
Benjamin Allbright on tonight. You cover the draft a lot. You talk to a lot of these guys. What does it say about the Colts' evaluation of Anthony Richardson? They just picked him number 4 last year.
Well, I mean, this is, it's a situation where teams are willing to take chances on quarterbacks with big-time tools, and the problem is if you do that, you've got to have a plan to develop them, because for every Anthony Richardson or Trey Lance or Paxton Lynch, there's you're not going to get one Josh Allen for each one of those. And that's sort of the thing. Everybody's looking at the Josh Allen thing, saying, look, the Bills were able to develop this guy from a toolsy guy out of Wyoming, by the way. And then, and turning me to say, well, the Bills had a 3-year plan. They had the same offensive coordinator. They were willing to not look good on offense for a couple of years. And it took 3 years to get Josh Allen where he was. And each year they kind of put pieces around him. They're like, all right, he needs this. Let's go out and get a Stephon Diggs. Let's go get this and that and put this around him. You got to have that plan. You can't give up on a guy after 15 starts. If you're gonna draft a guy like that, you've got to have a 3-year plan that, hey, this guy's getting all the reps. We're willing to stink on offense for a couple of years, and then by year 3 it should pop. And teams like San Francisco who punted on Lance, teams like the Colts who punted on Richardson, or the Broncos who punted on Paxton Lynch, just weren't willing to do that.
I want to know if you think the coaches are under the pressure. The front office staff said, we want you to win now, but the coaches know, well, I need some time with this guy. So it seems like those two things don't mix.
Well, that's exactly what it is. If you're going to do something like that, you want to have a coach in his first year because, you probably need all three to get him to where he goes. That's what the Bills did with Sean McDermott. But it's tough because you've got both a front office and a coaching staff that are under the gun. The Colts ownership has passed from Jim Irsay, who passed away, to his daughter, and she didn't hire these people. Her dad did. And so, she's going to be evaluating this thing all year, and these guys are all jockeying for their livelihood in the league. They don't win games. There's going to be questions that get asked, difficult questions, and a lot of fingers pointing blame. So, you create a situation where if you don't have a plan when you draft one of these guys, you're probably hosing yourself. And that's why we're seeing teams pivoting to, in the NIL era, allowing quarterbacks to stay in school, get more reps, and now they come out older and they're better prepared for NFL life. Look at guys like Bo Nix, who surprised everybody, at Jaden Daniels, at 24 years old, versus guys like Anthony Richardson or whatever, who were 20 when they come out. The pendulum has swung the other way in the NFL.
Yeah. Benjamin Allbright in tonight, Broncos insider. He's on Broncos Country tonight, 850 KOA, the Broncos flagship. He's on X at Allbright NFL. Follow him there. One more on this. Joe Flacco gets the start this week. Nobody's surprised there, but he's 40. I'm old enough to remember in Denver where he was done. That was it. He couldn't even play anymore. What do we think about Flacco?
Well, Flacco kind of got done dirty out here a little bit. He could still play. They just did not run an offense that was catered to him at all. And so that was sort of the issue when he was out here. They made the switch. They were trying to get Drew Lock in there once he got healthy anyway. Flacco just never fit, out here. As far as the rest of it, he's 40 years old. He's got experience. We've seen him go on little hot runs before. We saw him go on a hot run for the Browns. Was it 2 years ago, I think? We've seen him do it. I don't think that he's going to hold up for a whole season at this point. And, you're probably using him as a stopgap for one of these rookies to get healthy and pop, and you hope you bring them in and that maybe you've got a future out of one of them, whether it's Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. So I get what they're doing, but this is another coaching staff and front office that's under the gun in terms of potentially getting blown out at the end of the year, and they're just hoping to string some wins together until one of these rookies pop.
Do you think Shedeur Sanders sees the field by week 6? Do you think he sees the field?
Well, I think he'll see the field this year. The question is when. He's obviously got that oblique issue right now. You want to get that healthy. Dylan Gabriel came out and had some had a hit or miss game. I think both these rookies are still fighting to become the guy. And I think, the problem here is you're going to be giving a lot of first-team reps to Flacco going forward. Neither one of those guys are going to have as much opportunity to soak that up. So you need one of them to pop pretty quick and show you that they can potentially be the future and go from there. I do believe both those guys will see time on the field this year, though.
Let's go to the Broncos with Benjamin Allbright. Couple more. He's here on the Nate Brown Show tonight from Broncos Country tonight. His show every night on 850 KOA. So are people overreacting, Benjamin, to Bo Nix's preseason here and training camp? Jarrett Stidham leads the league in touchdowns and yards in the preseason. Where's Bo Nix really?
Well, the offense, the first-team offense has struggled a little bit this training camp and preseason. I don't know if that's a function of Bo having a bit of a sophomore slump, if that's a function of them up against good defenses. He's up against the Broncos defense every day in practice, and they're one of the better defenses in the league. And you got the Niners and you have the Cardinals. Both those defenses are going to be good this year. So, I don't know if it's that or if it's just a little bit slow going, a little sluggish this year. Stidham's obviously looked decent, and he'll be the backup this year. They're not trading him or any of that kind of stuff. I know I've seen reports out there. They're not trading him. I think they think they're in capable hands. The main thing is you want Bo to take a leap from year 1 to year 2, and we just really haven't seen that yet.
How about the backfield? J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey. What are we going to see in the backfield?
Well, Dobbins will be the primary back. He'll be the starting back. Harvey will get plenty of work. The thing about Dobbins is he just offers you more. He's a better receiver out of the backfield, and more importantly, he's a better pass protector. Harvey's got to learn how to do that kind of stuff. Every snap he's been in this preseason, he's not been asked to do that. And you'll see that distribution where Dobbins will get significantly more snaps early simply because Harvey just doesn't know pass protection at this point, doesn't know how to do it. Once he learns that, he'll probably take the lead. The third back, that's been the big question mark. Whether it's going to be Jaleel McLaughlin, who also doesn't pass protect, Tyler Bidet, who has shown some things, but just for whatever reason, there have been flashes, just hadn't quite put it all together. Or Audric Estime, who's been a disappointment, was a big bruising back. They brought it out of Notre Dame in the draft, and just hasn't ever lived up to potential. So whomever it's going to be is the third back, which I would say at this point is probably Bidet. They're going to have to be the pass protection guy because those guys get a ton of reps in this offense. We saw Samaje Perine get a ton of reps, even though he wasn't running the football 2 years ago, just because he could pass protect.
Where do you project this Broncos defense? They've added Greenlaw, Hufanga, the rookie at corner out of Texas. Where do you project the Broncos defense?
If they stay healthy, they're going to be a top 3 defense in the league. I mean, they were quite good last year. I saw them in camp last year and said this defense was going to surprise people. They did. They finished top 5 in every category last year. I think they're better this year. They're faster, and they're not thinking as much within the confines of the scheme. The other thing is, having Hufanga in there, I think gives you a versatility because both he and Jones can come downhill into the box, whereas P.J. Locke couldn't really be that guy last year. They're going to have a little bit more versatility. The question is the inside backer position. You brought in Greenlaw, but he's been hurt. He got a little dinged up during the offseason. Alex Singleton coming back off injury, broke his thumb. Justin Sternad coming back off injury. That's your top 3 inside backers. So there's a potential for a health issue there. I think that's the only question mark.
Benjamin Allbright's on tonight. He is on Broncos Country tonight. Broncos Insider at 850 KOA. Follow him on X. Great follow. Covers the league. Allbright NFL. Benjamin, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, buddy. Anytime.
Thanks a lot. Benjamin Allbright on the Nate Brown Show across South Dakota on Fox Sports Radio, host of Broncos Country tonight. Broncos insider and NFL analyst from 850 KOA, live from Denver, the Broncos flagship. Good stuff from Allbright. Let's head up to the Mountain West. We don't get to talk to a D1 athletic director very often in the Mountain West. A lot to discuss. Where is college football going, and how does Wyoming, a program like Wyoming, fit in? He's the athletic director for the Cowboys, Tom Burman. He's live from Laramie, coming up.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's August 2027. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with zero regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
This is my around the house in summer outfit. You like it?
Mom, it's a garbage bag that you put your legs and arms through.
Yeah, and then I fill it with ice.
Okay, why?
Well, this house gets so darn hot in the summer, and working for me anymore.
So you made an ice chest dress?
Well, at least I'm comfortable now.
Mom, why don't you just call Renewal by Anderson?
Oh, is that a new tailor?
No, Renewal by Anderson makes custom fit windows tailored for any house.
I don't know. I'm growing kind of fond of the old ice chest dress.
No, really, they do a free home consultation. Then replace your old drafty windows with brand new ones.
I do wish these garbage bags were stronger. I reach for the TV remote and ice goes all over the living room floor.
Okay, Mom, call Renewal by Anderson.
Oh, I will. Now, would you like a cold drink? I got plenty of ice.
I don't think so.
Visit RBARapidCity.com today for a free consultation. Lower your heating and cooling bills with windows from Renewal by Anderson of Rapid City. RBARapidCity.com.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
All right, welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is on tonight. Fox Sports Radio across the state on Fox Sports Radio. The Nate Brown Show is on. Thanks for being here. From high school to college to the pros, we got you covered. Well, I'm excited about this tonight. We've talked to them over the years. You don't get them, D1 athletic directors all the time. They have jobs. I mean, they're busy. But we got them tonight. I've talked to them over the years. Of course, I've been a big Wyoming Cowboys fan, first and foremost, okay? I can say that. When you go to Wyoming games every weekend for a long time, you become a fan, and you always follow the Pokes, and I'm interested. Where's Wyoming going from here? The football season's getting underway. Jay Sawville in his second year as head coach. Athletic director for Wyoming is Tom Burman. He's on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Tom, good to get you on. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate your time. I know it's busy and the whole thing. So let me ask you right out of the gate. Football season's here, and Jay Sawville is entering his second season. What are you looking for, Tom? What do you expect from Wyoming football this season?
In short, significant improvement. I mean, we got to get better than we were last year, and the year before, we won 9 games, and in Coach Sawville's first year, we won 3. And unfortunately, that's not going to work. But I feel very good about the direction of the program today. I feel really good about this team in particular. I think it'll be a little different Wyoming football team than maybe we saw especially under Coach Ball. I think we'll be a little bit more dynamic offensively. And we may be less than where we want to be defensively, but I think as the season goes along, we'll definitely make progress on that side of the ball. We're just young and inexperienced over there in some key positions, but offensively, I think we're going to be very good.
This is Wyoming Athletic Director Tom Burman on the Nate Brown Show. If you're just tuning in tonight across South Dakota on Fox Sports Radio, talking Cowboy athletics. From the football side, I look at it and say, this is a proud tradition here. Fans want to win. You have the whole state behind you, the whole thing. How tough is the new environment? You've been dealing with the transfer portal now for a while, and people always say this: how does Wyoming stay in the mix in the transfer portal and NIL world? What's your answer to that?
Well, it's a challenge, but it's a challenge for nearly everyone in the Mountain West Conference. I would say, if you look at the number of players that Wyoming lost last year in football, we lost less than probably nearly every school in the Mountain West except for, a handful. I mean, Boise didn't lose a lot of guys. They got a lot of really good players coming back. They have a very, for our level, they have more money than the rest of us in their football program, and they're able to keep kids that maybe the rest of us couldn't keep. But, it's a challenge for all of us. And, but the good news is we have a little bit like the culture of the Dakotas and the Montanas. We get a lot of kids who come here without their handout. They are not entitled. They're hard workers. They're grinders. They play for the name on the front of the jersey and not the name on the back of the jersey. And as long as our core can still be that way, I think we'll be fine. But that's the challenge. You got to get more and more kids who want to be here for the right reasons. They value a degree. They value their teammates. And I feel like we got that group. And I mean, it's inevitable. You're going to lose players every year, whether you're at FCS or you're in the group of 6. I used to call it the group of 5, but Pac-12 is in with us, so the group of 6. And you're going to lose players, and you got to reload as quickly as possible. The good side to it is we get better high school players than we used to because the Power 4 leagues are recruiting fewer and fewer high school players. So we're getting a level better of high school athlete than we used to, which is kind of exciting to see.
Tom Burman joining us tonight on the Nate Brown Show. Glad to have him talking Wyoming Cowboy Athletics live from Laramie, Wyoming Athletic Director here on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. I saw reports here in this new world, though. You're having to pay the players, meaning they get some NIL. They're going to get some revenue share. I mean, it's in the millions. I think I saw a report, yep. $2.8 million to athletes. I think people, I'd be like, wow, 2.8. I mean, that at Wyoming, how's that sustainable? What does the donor at Wyoming say when athletes are getting that?
Well, two things. I think to clarify that $2.8 million. Some of that is additional sky. When the House settlement came down, there were 3 ways you could reach your $20.5 million cap, okay? And that was direct rev sharing, Alston scholarship monies, which is basically paying athletes, but it's capped at $59.80. And then the third piece is adding scholarships. And we added 8 scholarships on the women's side. That's roughly $300,000. We're paying out about $1 million in Alston scholarships, and we're paying out about $1 million and some change in $1.5 million probably in rev share. So yes, we are paying players directly. Nobody is getting rich, but we do have some athletes in our football program in particular that are, taking home some cash. And it's some of our donors are still struggling with it, but over 3 or 4 years, they have started to understand that, this is a job. It's more, the NCAA, I got to be careful what I say here. The NCAA put parameters on how much time a student athlete could spend on being a Division I athlete per week. They call it countable hours, and they capped it at 20. Well, I can tell you, and you know this, and most of your listeners know this, it's way more than 20 hours a week these kids are working on their craft. And so they deserve a little compensation, in my opinion. I don't have any heartburn over it. Are we going to be able to keep up with the Power 4 schools when one of our kids is wanted? No. But on the other hand, we've lost quite a few kids who have gone to Power 4 schools. And most of the time they're starters, but oftentimes they're not. And even if they are starters, they're not getting on the front of the poster. They're not being recognized. They're not being promoted as a star. So there's some value to being a star and being seen. And as you all know in the Dakotas, scouts will find you. If you're good enough to play in the NFL, it doesn't matter if you're at Wyoming or you're at Sioux Falls. They're going to find you.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I got it. I want to get your read. What's your feeling about the new Mountain West? Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno, San Diego State, Utah State, they're jumping out to the Pac-12. Mountain West is adding. How do you feel about the Mountain West here?
Well, I'd be disingenuous if I didn't say I would have liked it to stay together. But that was a choice they made, and I think they will regret it at some point because all of us we could have had a great Western League by adding Washington State and Oregon State if we just would have stayed together. But we divided it up. And now you have two leagues who are fighting for the same media dollar, the same media time. I'll give them their props. They took 5 programs that they felt were the most valuable media market-wise and valuable competitively. It's a great basketball league. I think it's I don't see much difference between the Mountain West and the Pac-12 in football going forward. I really don't. I think they'll be competitive with each other. Basketball, they're ahead of us right now.
Tom Burman on tonight. Couple more. I'll let him go. Getting plugged in on Wyoming Cowboy athletics with the AD for the Pokes here on the Nate Brown Show tonight. I look forward and I say, Tom, there's this Power 4 and there's a ton of money. I mean, a ton of money in some of these programs. Then there's programs like Wyoming, competitive as heck. You guys are in this mix. Then there's FCS programs that are wondering, well, we're really good. South Dakota State, North Dakota State, we're really good. We're way better than most FCS. I wonder how this all lines up. Is there more change to come?
I do think there will be further change, and I agree with you. When you look at South Dakota State, North Dakota State, Montana, they're different than the rest of FCS. And, for a school like Wyoming, it makes a lot of sense if there was a way that a few of those schools joined the Mountain West, but it didn't make sense for everybody in the Mountain West, and that's why there wasn't an opportunity for them to join. But in the long run, I think there will be a change, and I think there will be a division that is created where the top 40-ish schools separate, and they, in my opinion, they'll collectively bargain with student athletes. They will be employees, and those are budgets in the $250 to $300 million range. And then the rest of us will reconfigure where we are. And I wouldn't be surprised if that allowed for the Dakotas and the Montana schools to make some decisions.
Tom, you tackle this beast all the time, revenue generation, facilities, NIL, the whole thing. You got to tackle. It's a big beast. You just did War Memorial Stadium, remodel, changes there. How much of a challenge is it, just from your standpoint, as the AD, to keep up the pace?
It's hard. There's no doubt. And, I mean, the revenue challenge is way different than it was when I started in this business years ago. It's at times it's frustrating, but I still believe in a broad-based program. I worry about the future of college athletics. I worry about programs dropping down to a very bare-bones level or eliminating scholarships in Olympic sports just to fund rev share for football. We don't want to do that. We're trying hard not to do that. But that is a direction that a decision point that some schools are facing right now and will face more in the future.
Tom Burman, great insight into the Mountain West and the Wyoming Cowboy athletics. The football season getting underway. They're getting set for Akron. By the way, how about that game at Colorado? Sold out quickly. That's a good one.
Yeah, no, it's exciting for us to play a regional opponent like the Buffs, and obviously with Dion there, the Buffs have a different brand right now, and they're real popular, and we're excited about the opportunity to go down there and show the country what the Wyoming Cowboys are about. The one I did want to ask, though, is there any way Brian can come back and play for us this fall? We're a little weak at linebacker, so we'd love to have your brother back here. Is that possible?
He probably could, looking at him today.
I know. He's a stud.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I can get him a little NIL. I think First Interstate Bank would help with that.
Okay, I believe that. I just play him at cornhole these days. That's as competitive as I get with him. By the way, Sundance Wicks, South Dakota guy here, and you've got him. He's been at Wyoming, South Dakota, popping around. How much energy is that guy bringing? Second year here for him.
Oh, Coach Wicks is wound tight and been doing a great job. And as you know, the basketball world, when you look at the revs here in NIL and basketball, it's even more complicated, more challenging for schools like the Dakotas and the Wyomings and the Montanas, et cetera. But he's doing a great job, and he'll get this thing turned around, and we'll be better this year, and we'll be much better in the future.
At Wyoming coming over to South Dakota to play some men's basketball coming up. Tom Burman on tonight, Wyoming Cowboys AD. Really appreciate you, Tom. Best of luck. Looking forward to the Pokes football season. Thanks.
Take care, Brian. Have a good day.
Appreciate it. Tom Burman on tonight, Wyoming Cowboys athletic director here on the Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Radio. See, he still calls me by my brother's name. Isn't that terrible? No. Hey, my brother did a lot of work for those guys back in the day. A lot of work at linebacker for Wyoming. Hey, that's good stuff. Good insight there. So if you missed some of that, he went through all of it. We got into the FCS piece. One of my big takeaways from Tom Burman just now, the athletic director at Wyoming, this is what I wanted to discuss about, and he was really honest there, saying he thinks there's a spot eventually for a South Dakota State, a North Dakota State type thing with Wyoming and others. That was my takeaway there. He said in the long run. And I've said that here on the show now for a couple of months at least. It's like that. I see that's where that's going. I say within 5 years. Maybe that's not the timetable. I don't know. But you heard it right there from an AD who's in the meetings, who's discussing stuff like this. Where the Jack's going to be, where the Yote's going to be. I feel like there's a world where they're with Wyoming and Utah State and Colorado State and some of these rather than Illinois State and Indiana State. That's what I believe. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, let's look at the question of the day. High school football question of the day. We'll get an update coming up.
This is South Dakota's.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share. To revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's August 2027. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with zero regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps 1 minute, the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is live tonight. Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're a part of the program. Out of the gate strong tonight. Tom Burman just joined us from Laramie, Wyoming. Wyoming Cowboys athletic director. He's been doing that a long time. Talked to him about the landscape of college sports, where things are going. He was really honest and open. Great insight there from Tom Burman. If you missed parts of the show, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every guest, every interview is there. So search the Nate Brown Show wherever you get your podcasts, and you've got us right there. Who's seeing this? A lot of people going to the podcast now. You can go on demand anytime. So search The Nate Brown Show, and you've got us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. We're live right now. High school football update coming up with Jared Fredenburg. He's the Sioux Falls Lincoln head coach. They're the back-to-back champions in 11 AAA. Jared Fredenburg, what does he think about this crew? He's coming up live. Lincoln's head football coach. Speaking of high school football, I am on a serious campaign. This is a serious campaign. This isn't messing around. There's two major things that are wrong with South Dakota high school football. There are too many classes, and it's just like beating my head up against the wall when you talk about that subject. It's a bang, 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 and nothing happens. And so that one, I think, is just out to lunch. I think the 7 football classes is here to stay until my death. And so we'll see. Hopefully that's a long time from now. But so I think that's over. But I do think there is something serious that we can change, and it would be helpful to many classes and then certain programs in the state. And that's adding a data piece to the classification model instead of just enrollment, where you decide where your class is. So you look at a program like the Douglas Patriots, they can't win an 11 AA class right now. Their male enrollment tells you they have all these male students. They're going to have a lot of football players. That's the old style that we think is this. Male means football team. This is 2025. They're playing this sport. They're doing this activity. Douglas has won 1 game in 5 years. The guys aren't running to the team. It's impossible for a coach to get in there and change a culture that's been like that. And so Central has only won a few games. Okay? Rapid City Central, 11 AAA. Playoff wins, none. They've really struggled. Their coach was in there trying to change it. It's taken a while, then another change. So what I mean by this is when you can't win, and it's proven over years, you set this new deal in place where you have a success factor now with enrollment, and that determines, hey, Douglas has won 1 game in 5 years. We should move them to 11A. Let's see if they can get some wins first instead of just beating your head up against the wall. And so I heard about this. They had a scrimmage this past weekend, and it was tough. They're playing an 11B school. They were playing an 11B school, and they had a tough time in the scrimmage. So how do we think that's going to go in 11 AA? So my plan is you have to put a success factor in like other states. And I got a listener text on this. Remember, the Activities Association does have a success factor on their board goals as something they're looking into with other states' systems. Yes, and I do remember that. So we were talking about it, and then I just wonder, where does that go? I think it's time to bring it back up. High school football starting again. I looked at this program like Douglas. That's just unfair to the Douglas community school. And those folks that are trying to, hey, I want to play football. I want to be a little bit competitive. I'm not telling you they're going to win the state title. If they go down to 11A, they wouldn't win the state title. Could they get some wins instead of one over 5 years? Numbers increase. Culture gets better. Kids get excited. School pride a little bit. Now we get some buy-in in the offseason, and it all builds from there. So those are the only two options is you just keep it as it is, and you have schools have to ask to petition down. Douglas would have to ask, go specifically the AD and the superintendent. They'd have to go to the board and say, hey, can we petition down? And then they'd have to say, we just can't sustain this and stuff like that. And guess what? Schools at the bigger levels, they don't want to do that. Because guess what? There's people that would say, oh, I can't believe Douglas is doing that. There's even probably parents, I can't believe we're not competing at our own class level. The class system's flawed. So I don't think you can have teams just continue, ask. You can't just have teams ask to petition down. Have a system in place which shows you very specifically, here's the teams over the last 4 years that haven't won any games, that haven't made the playoffs, that haven't done anything. They move down 2-year cycle and see how it goes. I don't think it would hurt anybody. What's your vote on that? Would you change the system for adding this to enrollment with a success factor of teams that have struggled? Would you change the system, or would you just want teams to ask to move down? That's our question of the day on the Nate Brown Show in this high school football week. Let's see here. What is the vote? What is the vote? I want to pull this up on the Nate Brown Show. Follow us on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. What is your answer? Listener reaction from Patrick. Sounds simple, but is it fair to the other schools in that division? I don't think so. Yes, it is, because they'll still win. Meaning the other teams in that division, nobody's going to be too worried about where the Douglas program's been anyway. They're trying to get better. It's not like they go down to 11A and tear it up. That's always the argument. Everybody said, oh, the teams at 11A, they'd all lose then. Huh? I just told you they scrimmaged an 11B team and had a tough time. So let's see here. What is the vote here coming in? Would you change the system or have schools asked to petition down like they have to do now? The Nate Brown Show, I say, let's change the system. It's follow the model. North Dakota just did it. Follow that model. Let's see how it goes. It doesn't have to be the end of the story. Let's see how it goes. I'm all about kids sustaining a program. I was told by another coach that the Douglas program going to be hard to even sustain at this point. Hard to even sustain. So I don't want to see more football programs take a turn. 52% of you are voting on the poll. Just have schools asked to petition down still. 48% of you say use the new data system for success factor. Close vote. Listener text coming in. 5 classes of football, please, and move teams up and down. Let's just start with one thing at a time. One thing at a time. But I think that's about right, actually. I think in a perfect world, we'd have 5 classes of football in South Dakota, and we'd have this success factor of moving teams down. I'm not even going to get on the bandwagon of having to move teams up. I'm off that. I don't need to move teams up. Here, can stay in 11AA, have a good time. Winner can stay in 11B and have fun, everybody. Okay? Let's see. Listener text. Someone should tell that to the 11B and 9-man schools. Okay? One more here. The system needs to be changed 100%. Okay, text us on that. What's your vote? Which option would you support for struggling high school football programs that are really struggling? Have them asked to move down a class or change the current system and use a success factor data? You got to change the system. We can't just have teams ask, because a lot of them won't. And then everybody's going to cry and whine that somebody does ask to move down. Oh, they're going to beat up on the 11A teams. It's just, it's ridiculous. They will not. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, I have something for us here. South Dakota State just made a change for their upcoming football season. Well, I think this is an interesting idea. I'm surprised more people don't do this. And I'm starting to think, hey, if South Dakota State does this, who else should? Coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Saving money on your next project when you shop at Menards. Give any room a fresh look with beautiful Mohawk tile. They feature ceramic, porcelain, mosaic, and glass tiles. Transform your walls with Sandrio 3x12 ceramic tile. This versatile tile adds a handcrafted touch to any space and is available in 5 colors. Pick them up today on sale, now through August 24th. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Fun's overboard! Hey, it's not like it's a person. What's the big deal?
What? That was our only package of Village Hearth old-fashioned buns.
We may as well toss the hot dogs, too. Head for the shore.
Don't let soggy buns put a damper on your lake day. Practice food safety.
Village Hearth, in the land of 10,000 lakes, there's only one bun for your summertime fun.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
The wait is over. We've begun closing out our 2025 models at Spearfish GMC Cadillac to make room for the 2026 models. Discounts and rebates are great on all 2025 models, but don't wait because stock is limited. New Sierra 1500 up to $67.50 off. Remaining 25 Sierra HDs starting at just $52,630. Plus, just arrived a great selection of the all-new GMC Acadia. Spearfish GMC Cadillac. Online always at spearfishmotors.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Hanging with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. I see new models of stand-up and teardrop campers on your lot.
Yes, you do. We're proud to feature the new SGC Armor line of campers from Bontrager Outdoors. Bang for the buck, there's just nothing out there like these new super cool Armor campers and Bontrager teardrops.
And the suspension these campers have? Wow, so impressive.
All our campers come standard with the off-road package. Bontrager and Armor just ramped boondocking up another notch. And right now, you'll get the best price all year on these 2026 ultra-light, ultra-beefy, option-loaded campers and teardrops.
You gotta check out these new look campers, people. The new designs are fantastic, and so many options for their size.
And so many options for towing. No need for a diesel or a big truck. These only weigh around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, so they can be towed by almost any rig.
Check out these new 2026 Bontrager and SGC Armor campers, everyone. See anytime.com, and as always at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
One more time.
All right, thanks for being here on a Tuesday. The Nate Brown Show is on. It is your drive home. Second hour ready to go on South Dakota Sports Talk Show, Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're a part of the program. Good guests here this hour. Hang tight. We got a high school football preview from the two-time defending state champions in 11 AAA, Sioux Falls Lincoln. Their head football coach, Jared Fredenburg, is coming up tonight live. How about Coach and the Lincoln Pats? They're going to take it again, 11 AAA. You won twice in a row. That's big time. Brandon Valley, we talked to their head coach, Coach Christensen, last night. That's a team to watch, no doubt. Can they take Lincoln down? We'll talk to Coach Fredenburg tonight from the Lincoln side. We'll go to national radio host Brian Noe on a Tuesday. It might be a every Tuesday hitter with one of our A-listers, Brian Noe, Fox Sports Radio national host. He hosts Countdown here on the weekends. The Nate Brown Show is on. If you want to get in touch with us, Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, 605-720-1067. So you got that line in, 605-720-1067. Barron's Wilson text line also ready. Text the show directly. Those come in here right on the app. It's open, 605-720-1067. Same number. Call or text. That's the Barron's Wilson text line. Okay, so this is a simple thing today. It's simple, yet nobody hardly ever does it. Because we're in the world of we have to make money. We have to make money, and we don't see the bigger picture. I love people seeing the bigger picture that this is going to do more. You got to get them in the door, and that's what South Dakota State is doing today. So this was just announced by South Dakota State that they are going to now allow all full-time students there in Brookings in for free for all regular season home athletic events. So a lot of people... You know, you think about this, there's schools that have done this years ago. It's like, hey, you come to the school, you get in for free, right? You just get in for free at some of these schools. Now in the big business of college sports, well, you got to, you can't let people in for free. Then you're giving away the product. I mean, we're the national champions in the FCS. We can't give away the product. We can't let people in for free. But I'm a believer in this still. That you get the students there, you create the atmosphere, they come and they buy the concessions, then they do the thing, and then they'll keep coming back. It grows the pot, and so you're losing out on a student ticket fee. Well, we already make that up from student fees that go to athletics anyway, so it's like, get the students there. Create the raucous environment. Let's get the place going. South Dakota State football attendance has been really good over the past few years. So the new stadium really brought in this opportunity of growing the Jacks home field, and it took a little while. New stadium was, came online. Took a little while, and then last few years has been really good. You get into December with the playoffs, and that's another story. That's a whole different thing. But they've been selling home games now really well, and South Dakota State's going to double down and say, hey, not just football, full-time students at South Dakota State will get in for free at all home regular season athletic events. They just have to, ask for the ticket. So they have to basically reserve their ticket, but they get in for free. Why wouldn't you do that? So I don't know what the policy is at USD. Maybe I'll go down this road. I'm going to think they probably charge, I don't know whatever the student fee is. I think you got to do stuff like this. If SDSU's doing it, USD, which has struggled for fans, they don't get as many people to come to the games. And Vermilion, small community, they just don't get as many. I think you got to go free, all students, get it rocking, then it feeds the bulldog on the backside. And there's so many other things, if you look at college sports, that this benefits. If these students have a great experience, then they get connected to the university, then it works on down the road after they leave the university. I mean, it's the whole thing. It's a long-term, big vision. So I commend Justin Sell, South Dakota State Athletic Director, and the Jacks. They're going to go full-time students in for free, all home regular season athletic events. So football, basketball, soccer, volleyball, whatever you want. So how about this then? If South Dakota State can do it, why wouldn't high schools do this? We had this discussion on the show last year. I was talking to some high school ADs. How do you get high school students to come and be a part of their school and watch the games? I came from a smaller town. We had a great time. And I came from a different time. I understand. Nothing going on. The only thing to do was go to the high school football game on a Friday night. It doesn't happen anymore. Would this help for high schools? Hey, we're going to lose some of the student tickets. It doesn't feed the bulldog. I mean, do the student tickets cover the gap? It's easy for me to say I'm not in charge of the school budget. I understand. I know there's tight budgets. But it's better to build a student body that wants to be a part of the school games, the atmosphere. Let's treat every game like homecoming. Give them free tickets. Now, we've seen some businesses. I love these guys. They stepped in and like sponsored the first, 200 kids or something like that. I've seen that happen. That happened at Stevens. So I think that's a good play. But I just think, can the school think about it? Let's go high school students in for free. Do you think that would help in today's world? Let me just say this. It's not going to solve all your problems. Kids don't go to games as much anymore. Everybody's disjointed. No communication on our phones. Like, we don't want to go face-to-face. We forget about it. But kids still, they really do like that once they do it. They do like the interactions and the fun and getting behind their school once they do it. But would giving them a free ticket help them? It couldn't hurt. That's my read on it. South Dakota State's doing it. Why not South Dakota high schools? You tell me. What do you think? You think it would really help high school game attendance if you let every high school student in for free? Would it ramp up attendance significantly? What do you think? 605-720-1067. I'm going to say it would help. I don't think you probably wouldn't see like a packed student body section every game, but I think it would help because you got to promote it. It's all about promoting. It's all about connecting. Hey, free tickets for everybody tonight. Or coming up this Friday, home opener, football, free tickets for everybody. I think that works. What are you voting on here in the question of the day on Twitter? Follow us at Nate Brown Show. Let's see. 76% of you are voting, yes, schools should do this. It would help. 24% of you say, no, the kids still won't come anyway. Well, I'd be willing to take that risk. So I haven't seen the budgets at the schools. Every AD is dealing with bad budgets, tough budgets. But I don't know how much money you make off of student tickets at a game. It's got to be minuscule. It's got to be really, really small. Can you ramp up the support, the student body, school spirit? Then that just makes the whole thing better for everybody, and the school itself then can benefit from, hey, kids are coming to the games. Everybody has school spirit. We got a good thing going on, and it just enhances the whole school community. So I'd go free tickets for students in high school. I don't think very many people do it. I don't know. There might be some. I don't think very many people do it. By the way, listener text coming in. USD does the same thing. Okay, that's interesting. So USD's letting students in for free. Come on now. We got to show up now. I mean, you got to start showing up. South Dakota State's going to go free student tickets. USD goes free student tickets. There's no excuses now to be, sitting in your dorm room playing Roblox. Or, I don't know. What do they do? I have no clue. Brian Noah's in next. Fox Sports Radio, national host, coming up.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's August 2027. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with zero regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Personal injury cases. If you've been injured because someone else did something wrong, call me up. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried criminal and civil cases for decades, and I can use all of that experience to help you. I also know this, that when insurance companies know that you're represented by a trial lawyer, they take your claim more seriously, and if it is to be settled, it's settled better with a trial lawyer. Wrench Law, 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
Imagine this. A bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank & Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank & Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank & Trust. Member FDIC.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
Hey, welcome back in tonight. Glad you're here on a Tuesday. Hot one across South Dakota. It's always a great day in South Dakota, though. We know that. Thanks for spending time with us from high school to college to the pros. Trying to get you good guests each time out. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Wyoming Athletic Director Tom Burman in the first hour. Really good stuff on the current landscape of college sports, the Mountain West, Wyoming, where that fits in. What about the FCS and the future of some of the South Dakota states and USDs and NDSUs? He was open on that. Really honest. Good insight. So if you missed Tom Burman from Wyoming tonight, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. We'll put it up tonight. It's there on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. We're going to go out to Sioux Falls, Lincoln, talk to Jared Fredenburg, head coach for the Patriots. They've won back-to-back state titles. How has this program risen quickly? Coach coming up. Brian Noah's on Fox Sports Radio. He's on Countdown. Do you listen to him? You better. I listen to him. And I'm on this station all the time. Brian Noah's in. The show is Countdown. Football season is just here, man. Week 0 in college football. Real games this week. Got a little Iowa State, Kansas State love. That's the one I got my eye on. Brian Noah's in tonight. Brian, how are you?
Great, Nate Brown. Always good to be with you, buddy. And it's always a great day in South Dakota. Huh? Is it the official license plate yet? Are they still working on that?
That's a good one. I could just put that on mine. That's just the tagline. You know that, and it's true. By the way, let me get your read on a couple of things. I started my show with it. It only took me like 5 minutes. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do an opening monologue on this the whole time. It took me 5 minutes. I just pointed out, we got multi-billion-dollar corporations, NFL teams, and NFL teams are trying to tell us this week, yesterday and today, that Joe Flacco is the real deal for the Browns at 40, and Daniel Jones is the real deal for the Colts, even though he's 3-13 since beating the Vikings in that playoff game a few years ago. What are they telling us here? Am I just clueless? I mean, what are these teams doing?
It's kind of like this, Nate. You probably you're an upstanding citizen, so maybe it's not you, but it's one of your buddies, right? You probably had a story along the years where you're out, maybe at a bar, and it's closing time, and you see your buddy, and he's leaving with what looks to be like a lagoon creature, you know what I mean? And it's not like she's a drop-dead 10, gorgeous, stunning. It's the best option. You know what I mean? That's the best you could do at the time. That's what Cleveland is doing. That's what Indianapolis is doing. They're not the real deal at all with Joe Flacco or Daniel Jones. They're just the best options going into week one. Anthony Richardson has been a grease fire, and it's not like Cleveland has these guys that are ready to hit the ground running come week one with Kenny Pickett, his track record, and 2 rookies. So Flacco and Daniel Jones, they give those respective teams the best chance of winning in week one. But make no mistake, those guys are not, setting the NFL world on fire. That's just the best those teams can do right now.
Yeah, and that's an interesting commentary because those two organizations and fan bases have to be looking, going, oh boy, the 2 biggest headlines of the NFL: Flacco to start for the Browns, Daniel Jones for the Colts, and those 2 fan bases have to go, really? That's how we're starting our season? We're going to do this? By the way, New Orleans is going to do the same thing, Brian. I think they're going to throw out Spencer Rattler out there. They're going to throw Spencer Rattler out there. And these guys could have even drafted, I hate to say it, Shedeur Sanders. Yeah. It just makes better business sense. I don't know if Shedeur's going to flop or not. I would have given it a try instead of throwing out Spencer Rattler.
Completely agree with you, Nate. How crazy is that, right? Like you said it best. Business sense-wise, and he might be the best player out of those 3 also. So I don't understand why you wouldn't go down that road. Instead, you're like, yeah, we're good. We'll just have Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck battle it out. Doesn't make sense to me. That's what they chose. And how crazy is it, too, that both quarterbacks that you mentioned, Joe Flacco and Daniel Jones, both of them beat out Anthony Richardson, right? Flacco did it last year, and now Daniel Jones is doing it this season. That's a failed top 5 draft pick if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, that's wild to me. By the way, do you think Shedeur Sanders sees the field? I had an NFL insider on earlier tonight. He thinks that Shedeur Sanders does. He doesn't know when. He just thinks he does. What do you say?
I say he does, Nate. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it makes sense, right? Like, the Browns would have to have a stunningly pretty good record, which isn't going to happen, for them not to play Shedeur, right? Where they're probably going to be losing games left and right. They're not going to be in playoff contention. At that point, why would you trot out Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett? That just doesn't make sense. You would have to play one of your 2 rookies just to see if you have anything. They've got 2 first-round picks next year, and so it's go time for a franchise quarterback. So why wouldn't you put Shedeur out there or Dylan Gabriel? My choice would be Shedeur. He's a first-round talent. I would toss him out there and see if you have anything. And if he somehow surprises you, well, that might change what you do at quarterback in the draft. So he's got to see the field.
All right. Brian Noah on tonight, Fox Sports Radio national host. The show is Countdown here on the weekends on Fox Sports Radio. So I'm looking at a couple of storylines here in the NFL. One is the Cowboys and the Micah Parsons mess. People are saying now, we're a couple of weeks out here. They got that opener against the Eagles coming up September 4th, Thursday Night Football. What are the Cowboys going to do? Are they going to sit here and not play Micah Parsons? Or are they going to hold firm and just let him play it out one more year? And then, what does Micah Parsons do if he's put in that spot?
Yeah, who knows with the Cowboys? Your guess is as good as mine, probably better than mine. I think he's going to end up playing for the Cowboys. I just don't see him going elsewhere. But when that happens, I really don't know. I don't know if he's going to be on the field for week 1 against the Eagles. I would, if I had to bet on it, I would bet that he is. But that's not like, let me go into the 401k here. It's the Cowboys, right? They're wild cards. They're Mavericks over there. I don't see Micah going elsewhere, but I don't know if he's going to be out there in week 1 or not. I just know this. I know that he's their best defensive player. And, even though the Cowboys routinely do this, drag it out obnoxiously long, it's totally avoidable. They know how valuable he is. So I think that they do eventually get a contract agreed upon. And my guess is he'll be there in week 1, but I wouldn't run to the betting window on that one. I've got an outside-the-box idea, Nate, to solve everything. How about this? How about the Bengals pick up Micah Parsons and the Cowboys pick up Trey Hendrickson?
Oh.
Boom, everything's cleared up. We're good to go. Let's start week 1.
They're both messing they're both messing that up with their edge rushers, the Bengals and the Cowboys. By the way, let's jump to Major League Baseball. I just want your read on this. Rob Manfred said on Sunday Night Baseball, we might be looking to expand. He wants to expand by the time he retires in 4 years. Rob Manfred. Where should they expand? Major League Baseball, Nashville, Salt Lake City, Charlotte. Where are you in on Major League Baseball?
Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting that you brought this up, Nate, because I was looking at some of these proposals. There's one proposal. If you get 2 expansion teams, then you have realignment, just like the NFL did in 2002, right, where you've got 8 divisions with 4 teams in each division.
Yeah.
And it syncs up. It lines up really nicely in the NFL. Major League Baseball is going to have the same thing. It's just a matter of time. So as far as where those franchises are, if you're looking at the AL West, you're looking at Salt Lake City or Portland. And if you're looking at the NL South, Nashville or Raleigh, I think Nashville makes a ton of sense. I don't know, between Portland and Salt Lake City, it doesn't seem like baseball hotbeds either place to me. But, Portland, I was out there when they've got the Portland Diamond Project. They put a lot of money, a lot of resources into trying to get an MLB team there. It rains all the freaking time, though, Nate. So I don't know, man. But as far as a realignment goes, Portland or Salt Lake City for the AL West makes a lot of sense. But, at first I'm like, oh, gosh, realignment. But then you look at it and what teams would most likely be in which division, and it worked out great for the NFL. Going back and seeing, the goofy AFC Central, they had 6 teams at one time. It lines up so much better the way it is right now, and I think it could line up way better for baseball as well.
Yeah, Major League Baseball. Rob Manfred said if we expand, then we would realign too. That's how we would do it, geographically. But here's a division: my Cubs, Brewers, Twins, White Sox. It's I'm out. How about this one? Braves, Tampa Bay Rays, Miami Marlins, and Nashville. That's bad. That is bad.
That's real bad. You could realign it so many different ways. When the NFL did it, there were 7 different proposals.
Okay.
How interesting is it that the Dolphins said no to the AFC South? And that's why they ended up with the Colts. If the Dolphins had it to do all over again, I'd probably rather be in the AFC South right now than in the East with the Bills. But there were 7 different possibilities. And same thing with baseball, right? I'm not a big fan of, hey, this AL team goes to the NL, and we're just swapping teams left and right. There are proposals where it's like the NBA, where it's just the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. I don't like that, Nate. I would do tweaking. I would just have, there's another proposal with, or possibility, NL North, where it would be your Cubs, my Cardinals, Brewers, Reds.
Okay.
They just lose the Pirates.
Oh.
You're not just ditching everything. There have been rivalries that have been built over the years. I can't imagine not having Cubs Cardinals. So I wouldn't just ditch it and have teams swapping leagues left and right. I would keep it as close to uniform as possible.
Last one for Brian Noe. You talk betting on Countdown, the show here on Fox Sports Radio. There's a story out of the San Francisco Chronicle today that there's some offshore betting companies that are taking bets on the Little League World Series. I mean, is Brian Noe even? I mean, tell me you're not going to bet on Sioux Falls, South Dakota's Little League team in the Little League World Series tonight.
Oh man, we've gone to the dark side officially, right? Like we're betting on little leaguers now. I mean, I haven't been watching it, Nate, but if there was value, if there was an angle, I can't tell you I wouldn't take it, you know. But that's when you know we've reached rock bottom. If a little leaguer is saying, "Hey, put some scratch on me. I feel the over tonight. You know, I'm due." You know, he tells someone to bet on him or throws it. Even worse, Nate, can you imagine a little leaguer saying, doing the Jonte Porter, like, yeah, after the first inning, I'll say my elbow's messed up. Just bet my unders across the board. That would be a true sign of the apocalypse right there.
It's terrible, but it is happening. I just saw that story. Little League World Series, people are betting on the Little League World Series. Unbelievable. Sioux Falls, South Dakota is playing in a loser-out game right now in the Little League World Series, Brian knows. So if you're not doing anything after this hit, check it out. Midwest, they're playing tonight, trying to stay alive in the Little League World Series here, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Brian Noe on tonight. Follow him at The No Show, and he's here on Countdown on Fox Sports Radio. Appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Always good hanging with you, Nate. And like they say, death, taxes, and betting on South Dakota in the Little League World Series, right? You're always going to make money that way, I think.
Good luck. Sioux Falls lost last night. They were up 1-0, and then they lost 13-1. Sioux Falls Little Leaguers last night. I don't know if you followed that. I was happy. They were up 1-0 in the fourth inning, and then they lost 13-1 last night. Sioux Falls playing in a loser-out the Little League World Series right now, okay? Let's go to Sioux Falls Lincoln. Jared Fredenburg's the head football coach for the back-to-back state champions. How has he built this program into a consistent winner? And how's 2025 look for the Pats next?
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's August 2027. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with zero regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps 1 minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
no better place to soak up the sun and the good vibes than at Que Pasa Mexican Cantina. Tacos, tequila, burritos, and beer, and good vibes all day long. Que Pasa is your hometown hangout, and we have a smoking deal for you. Mention you heard Rob on the radio and score a $2.99 house margarita any day, anytime. Limit one per customer per day, so don't miss out. Offer available for a limited time. Swing by, sip something special, and celebrate the season at Que Pasa Mexican Cantina.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
All right, we're on Fox Sports Radio across the state. South Dakota Sports Talk Show every afternoon drive. Thanks for being here live on the radio. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Remember, every show is also in the podcast form. You can get us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you download your podcast. Search The Nate Brown Show, and then you've got every show here. We had Tom Burman on, Wyoming Cowboys athletic director. Really good discussion on the future of college sports and the group of six and where that all fits in with FCS top-tier programs moving forward. Tom Burman, Wyoming AD, on tonight. Also talking high school football this week. The 9-man schools and 11B get going this week, and then the big schools next week. It's here. Trying to get some high school football previews. We talked to Coach Christensen last night. Brandon Valley, one of the top teams in AAA. I think these guys are too, right? Back-to-back state champions. Sioux Falls Lincoln. Their head coach, Jared Fredenburg, on tonight. Courtesy of the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Coach, good to have you on. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. It's a little hot out today, but finally got an air conditioning here, so
it is toasty, man. It's that time of year, and you guys are getting ready to go for another campaign. I want to start with this. We'll get into your team and the last couple of years. How have you built Sioux Falls Lincoln, it seems now, into a top-tier program? It wasn't always that way. What's happened?
It's just a lot of hard work. It's just sticking to what you believe, surrounding yourself with really good coaches that have a really high give a crap factor, and having a good weight room and just getting the kids to buy in. And, every system out there works no matter what, but you got to have your kids buy into what you're selling. And I think for the last, 3-4 years, the kids have been buying in.
How would you describe the metro scene football-wise over the years here? You've been in the game a while, meaning it was O'Gorman for a long time. Then the public schools really got going. Roosevelt, Washington, proud tradition. You've got Lincoln going now, but now you're challenged by Brandon Valley, Harrisburg, even T at the lower level. Even T's got their program going. How would you describe how Sioux Falls Metro football has progressed here, and how have you found your way?
Yeah, well, the Metro's been really good for the last 20 years, it's just you got to put the work in. The game of football is a really hard game, and there's a lot of moving pieces, and it demands a lot of work, and so I can only speak for myself, and kind of I grew up with Roosevelt, and so I was around in the early 2000s when we at Roosevelt kind of turned it around too, and it. Again, you got to have a lot of kids that buy in. You got to have coaches that know how to coach and are willing to put the hours in and the film sessions and putting the product on the field and putting them in the right spot. I believe, and I say this every year, I think any other Metro team can beat any other on any given Friday. It's a grinder, and even when some of the teams are down a little bit, it's still a scary proposition because they got athletes, and so you never know how the ball bounces sometimes, and a tip pass here or a fumble here, or you're not taking care of business and really concentrating on the task at hand, weird things can happen.
Jared Fredenburg on tonight. Sioux Falls Lincoln head football coach. The Patriots have won back-to-back state titles in 11 AAA. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say it feels like you guys, I don't know, people still think, well, I think Lincoln maybe they're not going to be as good. Maybe they're not going to be as good. So now it's going to be Brandon Valley or somebody like this. Maybe it feels like you're a little underrated, and you guys might have a little edge to you a little bit. You tell me.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I really don't care being underrated. Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather be the underdog, kind of chasing somebody, than be out front and have everybody chasing you. So, I guess we have a saying around our place. It doesn't matter who we play; it matters how we play. And so no matter who our opponent is any given week. It doesn't matter. The only thing we concentrate on is us, and we believe that if we play to our ability and we play a very clean game, we can play with anybody. So, that's fine with me. The ratings really don't matter. The only ratings that matter is that final rating in November. And so, like right now in early August, nothing matters. And so you just want to, get that squad ready for that first game. And, it's all full, Nate, it's all full of coaching cliches, you know what I mean? It's like you got to go 1-0 every week. And once that game is over, it's on to the next. And I've seen it so many times, if we have a big game, our second game is against O'Gorman in the President's Bowl. But we got to take care of business week 1 first.
How much has the winning the last couple of years, actually a state title, at a public school, a big school like Lincoln, how much has the winning helped build the program?
Well, we definitely have the most kids we've ever had. This year we got 83 kids out for football from 10th grade through 12th. And we're going to have close to 40 freshmen. Off of last year's freshman team where we had around 40 or 41, 34 of those now sophomores stayed around.
That's high retention, right? I mean, people don't know this.
So I think, it just creates some excitement. I think winning kind of builds winning. Kids want to be around it. But the one thing that we talk about is that stuff is over, man. You have to earn everything that you have this year. Last year's done. Those guys are gone. What are you going to do to fill in that question mark that everybody's got for you?
Sioux Falls Lincoln on tonight. Their head football coach, Jared Fredenburg. They've won back-to-back titles. You got a nice QB there. I think Brody Schaefer's a nice player. I've been told he's the best QB in the state. How good is it just to start with that?
Yeah, he's all right. He's okay. He's all right. Yeah. But yeah, Brody's phenomenal. And the thing about him is, when your best player is one of your hardest workers, it just makes it so much easier. And man, he comes every day, and he's a great leader. He's willing to call people out that aren't living up to the standard, but yet he's teaching some of these young guys, and he's just so mature, and he's a coach's kid, so he's been around it for a long time. He's just got a great demeanor about him, and he just comes to the ballpark every day and just goes to work.
Coach, you lost a significant number of seniors. Where are the gaps to fill? Where do you have to fill it?
Well, our entire defense is brand new. So out of last year's defense, all 11 starters were seniors. Our linebacker that came off the bench was a senior, and our fifth DB that came in nickel situations was a senior too. So everybody on defense is going to be brand new. So that's where the majority of our focus has been, is just finding those 11 dudes that fit into the scheme and fit into a role on defense. So we think we got some pieces, but we're going to be young. in some of those areas, and you really don't know how they're going to respond until the lights come on Friday night. So we're really looking forward to this first game and getting it behind us.
Sioux Falls Lincoln getting ready to roll next week. Their head coach, Jared Fredenburg, wanted an update on the Pats. We got some Pats fans that have texted in back-to-back state champions and trying to make another run in AAA. That's hard to do. Coach, good to have you, man. We'll talk to you again. Thanks a lot.
Okay, yep. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate the time. On the Nate Brown Show, that's Coach Fredenburg. Sioux Falls Lincoln, back-to-back state champions, 11 AAA, and the best QB. Man, they start there. Can they fill the gaps on D? Brandon Valley has a lot of guys back up front, and so it'll be interesting to watch. Coach Fredenburg said anybody can beat anybody in the Metro, he thinks. On any given day, you have a bad game, you're out. So high school football season underway. We'll keep checking in. Tomorrow, it'll be Steve Steele, peer governors, trying to get back on top. Who's hot and who's not? Wrapping up the show next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Our locally owned Ace stores are committed to helping our neighbors and our communities. And because we're in the neighborhood, we can deliver almost anything you need. So shop in store or online for whatever your home or yard needs. Choose from top brands like Milwaukee, Steel, Traeger, and Benjamin Moore. Then pick up in-store, curbside, or we'll deliver your order right to your home. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know how to help. See acehardware.com for details.
Looking for a big new game to play? Well, there's no game bigger than the new dino-sized Jurassic Park scratch ticket from the South Dakota Lottery, which gives you a chance to win up to $50,000 instantly. And if that weren't enough, you can enter for a chance to win an exciting trip to beautiful Hawaii, where you could win up to $1 million. So get down to your local lottery retailer today and welcome to Jurassic Park. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Warren Chemical and Equipment Company has a 5-step lawn care program to make your lawn the best it can be. Let Warren take care of your lawn weeds, plus 5 applications of fertilizer and micronutrients for a green, healthy lawn. We also offer lawn aeration to help your lawn breathe. Warren's 5-Step Lawn Pro Service is the original lawn service company in Rapid City. Single applications of weed and feed or just lawn weeds are also available. Call Warren Chemical and Equipment Company for an estimate on our 5-step lawn care program for your lawn. Phone 342-7644.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 68 tonight under mainly clear skies, southerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, high of 96. Mainly clear tomorrow night, 71. Mainly sunny Thursday with daytime highs approaching 88. 78 chance for storms Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 92 degrees.
Shop the Black Hills' best selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs, plus GM certified pre-owned at Danny Manhole Rapid Chevrolet. Shop over 350 used cars, trucks, and sport utilities, and buy with no money down, and make no payments for 90 days with qualified credit. All credit apps accepted. Choose from Chevys, GMCs, Rams, Fords, imports, and more. Over 350 of them. You could buy with no down and no payments for 90 days. See us at Danny Manhole Rapid Chevrolet or DannyManholeRapidChevrolet.com.
It's another exciting season of high school football action beginning Friday on Fox Sports Rapid City. 2 of the top teams in Class 11B go head-to-head as the St. Thomas More Cavaliers battle the Sioux Valley Cossacks at Dutton Field in Rapid City. Join Dean Gurr and me, Jerome Wickersham, for the pregame show at 4:45, followed by the kickoff at 5. Catch St. Thomas More and Sioux Valley in high school football action Friday right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, let's wrap this up tonight. Who's hot and who's not every night at this time, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. 2 locations in Rapid City, also at East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, and in Brandon tonight. The Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Who's hot and who's not on the Nate Brown Show, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. How about this Who's Hot category tonight? Out to USD, John Schemmel, the AD for the Yotes, just announced a new $20 million gift from Denny Sanford. They're going to build a new state-of-the-art indoor track and field facility in the honor of Bill and Jill Gasson, known as the Gasson Family Fieldhouse. Denny Sanford, new state-of-the-art indoor track and field facility at USD, $20 million gift to get that going. Hello. In our Pizza Ranch, who's not tonight? Mariners player Victor Robles. I don't know if you saw this. Look it up. He got hit by a pitch in the minor leagues. He's down to the minors right now, rehabbing. He got hit by a pitch. He threw the bat at the pitcher. I laughed. He's like, it's dangerous. He swung the bat. He threw it at the pitcher. He's been suspended for 10 games now by the Mariners, by Major League Baseball. It has to be served at the Mariners level. He threw the bat. I mean, it was wild. Victor Robles. Get a grip. Get a grip. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show. We are out tonight. Back tomorrow, and a great Nate Brown Show podcast going up right now. See ya.
I was the cool dad. My kids wanted me to take them to the mall. I didn't think anything about doing it in front of them, even though I knew